Thank you for watching Ebony Ladies in the DR. I'm your host, Bridget. Bienvenidos a mi canal. Gracias por mirar. So guys, I know the topic was a little scary, talking about the death of a tourist. But this is what happened. This happened about 2 weeks ago. There was an excursion. So if any of you have ever done the excursions, they're like 3 hours long. You go out into the ocean a little bit and you get snorkeling gear. And you get out and you snorkel. You get your life jackets and your snorkelers. Okay, so one of the passengers, her name was Doreen Richards. So Doreen Richards went snorkeling, and just like everybody else, and she was left out in the ocean, and she drowned. Very sad situation. Her body actually drifted up to shore near Jellyfish, where y'all know where I go and I take Bella all the time. So it was such a really sad story to me, because this was one of the excursions. It said in the news that it was 41 guests on board, and there were 3 crew members. So 41 guests and 3 crew members. Okay, so when you're out in the ocean, I'm saying this because I've done this a million times. And when I'm out snorkeling, I'm always looking up and down, to catch your breath, to breathe, to do all of that when you're out snorkeling, and to see where everybody else is. And, just always looking for dabbling, looking for the boat, that kind of thing. So that could have never happened to me, that I would have gotten left out in the ocean. Okay, so I don't know what was going on with Doreen and then the crew. So there was 3 people on board, 3 crew. You got your captain and then the 2, I don't know if you call them shipmates or the assistants or whatever they are, on the excursion. So out of 3 people, they got on board. They said they did not know she was missing until they got back to shore and everybody had gotten all of their stuff and her stuff was still there. And so that's when they realized that somebody was missing. And so that's like terrifying. So out of 3 crew members, nobody counted the snorkeling gear when you came back. Nobody counted the life jackets. They didn't do anything. So total negligence, in my opinion. They should have counted. They should have made sure everybody was on board. But then something that me and my husband, was talking about, even when you do a singles trip, when you're traveling by yourself, ladies, gentlemen, it is so important, especially when you're doing excursions, to make a buddy. You ain't got to marry them. They ain't got to be your best buddy, best friend, but make a friend when you're out on excursions. Because just listen, had she talked to one person on that boat, and I'm just like, what type of person was Doreen Richards? Was she just really an introvert? Did she not talk to anybody on the boat? Like, nobody talked to her? Because whenever I do a 3-hour excursion, I always leave with 2 or 3 new friends every time. Because I'm going to sit down, I'm going to ask where they're from. They ask me where I'm from. Or I might be sitting there and I'm taking a selfie and somebody will say, oh, you want me to take that for you? Yeah, please take my picture. And then we're going to get to talking. So did this not happen at all with Doreen Richards? Did she not talk to anybody on that boat? And the reason I'm saying this is because when everybody goes snorkeling, everybody get off the boat. And a lot of people don't, because a lot of people don't know how to swim. A lot of people are afraid to be out in the ocean, even if they do know how to swim. But who was Doreen sitting next to? Right? So where was her stuff? Was her stuff on the top deck by itself? Was her stuff on the deck near other people? Because when everybody started getting back on board and we're getting ready to go, if I've made a friend, if somebody's bag is next to me and they're not next to me, I'm going to be like, hold on. Somebody's missing, because y'all know I'm a busybody. But I'm like, somebody's missing. Where is Doreen? The lady that was next to me, she's not here. Do y'all see her? So why wasn't anybody looking out for her? I don't get it. I do not understand how this could have happened in a million years. Even if the crew was negligent, when you're out there snorkeling, if you're a strong swimmer, I mean, you gotta know your swimming abilities before you get out in the ocean to go snorkeling. You need to know your swimming abilities. If you're not a strong swimmer, you don't get off that boat. So did she drown before the boat ever went back? Did she kind of venture off and, and got water in her lungs? Did she drown before the boat ever took off? And if so, they didn't see her body floating around, or if she was on the excursion, was she just simply not paying attention to where the boat was and where the other people were, to know when they were starting to head back? Because if you've done this excursion, there's always one member of the crew that gets out into the ocean when you're snorkeling, and he's spreading bread, throwing bread around so that all the fish will come, so that you'll have a good snorkeling experience, that you'll get to see some, marine life, some sea life, some sea creatures, and all of the beautiful fish. So where was Joreen when all of this was happening? Did she kind of just float off on her own and wanted to just swim on her own? But even if that's the case, why did she not see that the boat was leaving? Or did she have some type of medical incident? But I just think it is such a crazy thing to have happen, because when you're traveling alone, especially when you're doing excursions, this is a prime example why you should have a buddy system. Meet somebody on there. I'm all for traveling by yourself. You're independent. You know how to look out for yourself. But in this case, on an excursion, if she did have some type of medical emergency out in the water, and had somebody been looking out for her, if she had just made one friend, one buddy while she was on the excursion, somebody could have said, where's the lady? Where's Joreen? Where's the lady that was sitting next to me? And it could have saved her life. That could have saved her life. It's like some of these things are senseless. Some of the stuff that is happening, it should not have happened. And this absolutely should not have happened. And I'm not blaming Joreen. I'm 100% blaming the crew, because I know we signed the waivers before we go on an excursion and that type of thing, but compassion, and just due diligence, just counting the number of vests that you give out. Make sure you get that number of life vests back. The number of snorkeling gear you give out, make sure you get that amount of snorkeling gear back. And then if you don't, let's leave the boat where it is, and let's look around and make sure that everybody is accounted for, because this was such a sad incident. And then to hear her body floated, washed up, at jellyfish, on a morning that I'm usually there with Bella running around. So y'all cannot even imagine how traumatized I would have been to see this woman float up onto the shore, because that's literally what happened off of Bavaro near Jellyfish, where y'all know I always am. So it would have really taken a lot out of me, but I'm just saying, this was such a sad incident. And so let me tell y'all what has happened. Okay, the penalty for the 3 crew members is 10,000 pesos per month for 6 months. So that is 10,000 pesos with the exchange rate right now is $185. So this crew, they have to pay $185 each for 6 months, and that's it. Now, the court system wanted to give them jail time, but not the court system, the Department of Tourism and the police department, they wanted these people to get jail time. But the judicial system, like the courts, the judges, the lawyers involved, they said that was excessive, that they didn't deserve jail time. And so I don't know, maybe what angle were they seeing this as? Were they seeing this as Joreen was more negligent and she should have been more aware of her surroundings and she should have got on the boat? But what if she seriously had a medical emergency, or and something happened? Then I think the crew definitely should have more than pay $185 for 6 months. That's just a little over $1,100 that they're going to have to pay. So as a tourist, is that all your life is worth? To the Dominican Republic. That's something so sad. But when I think about it, I don't know, what should the penalty have been? Should someone be held accountable? Should someone go to jail? Um, is her family gonna sue the Dominican Republic, or just gonna sue this excursion company? And in all honesty, I have no idea what those waivers say. I don't even know if they're in English or in Spanish. I've done so many of those excursions, but it's like they do the little briefing before the excursion. It's usually somebody doing it in English, and and they're saying at your own risk, if you snorkel, if you do this, you do that. And it's just kind of, you're just waiting to get on the boat to party and have a good time. You're not really even paying attention. But after this incident, I'm like, telling me and Davlin were talking, it's like, we need to pay attention. And he was like, if you ever go on the boat again by yourself and with friends, or if I'm not there, he was like, you make sure somebody is watching out for you. And I never had that situation where I don't meet and talk to anyone on the boat where somebody doesn't have my back. But me and Jareen could have had totally different personalities, and I get that. But ladies, gentlemen, when you're traveling alone, even if you're an introvert, you don't want to exchange phone numbers, you don't want to do this or that. Speak. Know the person next to you. Let them know you, so that if you are out there snorkeling in the middle of the ocean and you have a medical emergency, somebody is aware of you, that you're there. Somebody is looking out for you. Somebody is saying, oh, that's my friend's bag. Where is she? That's her beach bag. That's her towel. Where is she? So just little things that we can do as a people, to take care of each other and just look out for one another, because this was really, really a sad situation. And then to hear that's the penalty, $185 a person for 6 months. And they're out there on another excursion right now. Are they going to do anything different? Are they going to start counting the bodies, physically touching 1, 2, 3? Sometimes that's what you got to do. And I don't care if that's what they do to make sure everybody gets on the boat. What does it take? A whole minute? Then do that. Make sure everybody is accounted for. But I just thought this was such a sad situation. And I know so many people travel to the Dominican Republic. It's like the hot spot, especially Punta Cana. But I just want, when people come here, to be safe, so that there won't be negative publicity. And, I know people are like, well, why are you talking about this? Why are you sharing this? Because this is going to bring negative publicity to Punta Cana and to the excursions. But I mean, if it brings negative publicity, I think it's going to do more harm. More good than harm, right? That's what I want to say. It's going to do more good than harm. It's going to be more beneficial than it will hurt. Okay, that's what I want to say. So if I can help save one life, then this video is going to do its job. So I just want people to be aware, and then just kind of think about it, especially me being a local now, living here full time in the Dominican Republic. What does my life actually mean to these people that are conducting these tours? What does it mean to the government and the justice system if I'm, killed or injured, seriously injured on one of these excursions? Do they not have any liability? So those are some of the things that we really have to think about, because I do excursions all the time and never thought about it. And, so I just wanted to share that with y'all. I'm looking forward to your comments. What do you do to stay safe when you're traveling alone and doing excursions and things like that? So what do you do to keep yourself safe? But I appreciate you watching. This is Bridget with Ebony Ladies in the DR, every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to send my condolences, and I actually should have done that at the very beginning, but I want to send my condolences out to Joreen Richards and her family. And I am like, my heart goes out because I couldn't even imagine something like this happening. But definitely my condolences. And guys, just be careful. If you're not a swimmer, don't get in the water. You know, just enjoy from afar and then hit the pool when you get back to your resort or wherever you're staying. You know, keep yourself safe. That's it. Until next time, everybody be safe. Enjoy Punta Cana. Enjoy your vacations and your time here on the island. And thank you for watching.